first time working with actors that were there on set, and a big, huge cast, literally huge, 20 to 30 feet tall, that were not there on set.
The museum was, to begin with, we thought we'd build the full museum, but we ended up finding a great location in Montreal, which was an old bank. And based on that architecture, we designed the lab space that was built on set, because it had to be exploding. So when the kids are running, we created this huge windows that matched the location we had. It was supposed to be a hallway, and then the shot kept getting bigger and bigger, and so the set kept being deeper and deeper, and became a whole lab instead of just a corridor for them to run through.
The fun part of that, both from a kind of photographic perspective and a chase perspective, is that Steven's a very big fan of horror movies. And he came to us all really strongly with a lot of references from very specific movies that he's seen over many years, and said, I love this moment here, I love that moment here, I love this moment here. And then we all worked together with Previs to try to find ways to convey this chase story in a very kind of haunted horror movie fashion.
And then the exterior of the museum was all built on an island in Montreal. So we had a relationship to the water, a nice, surroundings and trees. And so it had a lot to offer, and the city was super cooperative with this. So it was a fun location to do. We started with a blank park. All the set was created from scratch. So the paths and the trees and the bushes and the flowers. And so it was like weeks and weeks of, planting that to destroy it in the end. But it was a really fun thing to do. It was a beautiful set to build.
They engage in a fight in front of the museum, which was a really interesting challenge, because basically we ended up having about 7 or 8 robots in a very small space. So the way that we talked about it and the way that Steven and I discussed it with the fight coordinator and the animation supervisors is that it was basically like a bar fight.
Dominique was a dream to work with. She came in right away and said, Pat, man, give me some stunts, man. I want to do stunts.
I'm trying to get in on more of the action, so I'd be telling the stunt people, hook your girl up. I really wanted to do a lot of, whatever stunts I could do.
But of course, yeah, she ended up doing everything. Being in the harness all day.
I mean, the harness is very uncomfortable, but to be able to say I did that or to do something like that is really cool. Us, really running through fire, or where fire was right next to us on burning cars, I thought that was pretty cool.
For them to do it and show up with a smile on the face every day was amazing.
We called it the Battle for Ellis Island, the initial museum set piece. That was a way to set the tone for the bad guys, where here you come in, audiences have these expectations where the Autobots are always going to come out victorious, and right from the jump we come in with Scourge and the Terracons and literally punch the Autobots in the face from the very jump of the film, and it sets the standard that they're not dealing with just your average, bad guys. This is going to be a war of attrition all the way throughout.
Oh, don't be frightened, humans. This'll all be over soon.
Everything is about the bots. They're the most demanding movie stars because they have to show up. And everybody's like, oh, we need this amount of space for the robots. And Anthony, Dominique, move over. Don't step on the bots.
I'm tired of little things getting in my way.
What's it like to try to visualize something being there that's not there? And it's a real learning lesson because, okay, the head is up there, but okay, what's he saying? How do you interact? So it's a real challenge.
And she lands, and you see that she bends down, picks up the stone.
It's fun. I mean, I look crazy, for sure. And it's ridiculous. I mean, it really is. It's just yo, if there was a talking robot in front of me, what would that be like?
I think everybody gets a little unnerved by it the first few days, but they pretty quickly adjust to that. And when they don't, there's people there to say, okay, take a look at this previs. This is where the robot's standing. Here's what's going on.
In terms of eye lines, because the bots, they're different heights. So Prime might be up here and Bumblebee's not that tall. And then, Ares is flying. And then all these different things that you have to think about. The hard part was kind of getting eye lines right for camera.
It's really the ultimate practice of using your imagination. A lot of being a child. All those times where I was talking to myself in the mirror as a kid or, playing out scenes by myself. That's exactly what it is.
We also have the DP, Enrique Chediak from Bumblebee, who had the experience of knowing now where, how do you manage the camera, which helps Steven.
Enrique brought a really unique style because he's also done a Transformers movie before, so he already understood the size and scope of robots.
When I did Bumblebee, it took me a little bit to get to know Bumblebee, understand the size, understand the movement. We have a lot of robots here, so different sizes, has been quite complicated, much more complicated.
And I think with a director like Steven, who's making a transition from fairly contained movies, you have to have a DP who has big movie experience or you're going to grind to a halt. So Enrique is fantastic, and I think this is our 5th or 6th movie we've done together over the years. Enrique is the real maestro, and he's a great presence on the set. And so when there's a lot of pressure to have somebody with his character and his experience, it helps everybody.
This cannot be.
Every time you see the Transformers, they're faced with insurmountable odds, doing what needs to be done, no matter how hard it is.
It should have been me.
It's easy to look at that in our own life and say, well, if they can get up from these sort of odds, why can't I do the same? And it definitely is an aspirational story that I think has lived on for generations because of that.
Will you lead us to this temple?
Chance to stop the end of the world.